This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Good morning. Another day, another real world test. Today, we're gonna be doing it on the new Galaxy S20 Ultra. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, a real world test on this channel is where I'm gonna kind of just go throughout my normal day and use the phone as I normally would. My SIM card is in here. I'm gonna be using, Gmail and WhatsApp and all the normal things that you do on a phone. And then throughout the day, we'll check in and see how the battery is doing. I'll also take photos with this and photos with some of its competitors and put all those up on the screen for you guys to check out and compare. One thing I want to address right away, though, is the fact that I have set the phone to 120 hertz. Now, the screen can do 120 hertz, but out of the box, by default, it is set to 60. Now, personally, I feel like they tout this as like a nice feature, so I wanted to turn it on because I do also kind of like it and see how long the battery lasts with that on. Right now, though, first things first, I need coffee. Coffee. Check. Now this isn't the most real of real world tests, only because I'm obviously not where I normally would be in New York, if you couldn't tell. I happen to be in Barcelona. Now, the reason I'm here is because I was supposed to be here for Mobile World Congress, but that got canceled due to scares of the coronavirus. I had a non-refundable hotel and flight, and so figured instead of just losing the money, might as well just work from here. And figured it'd also kind of make a good backdrop for this real world test, if we're honest. So now real quick, as we do, let's check in on the battery. I took it off the charger at about 7:10 in the morning, and it is now 10:27, and we are at 91%. And this is Sagrada Familia. It's a giant basilica here in Barcelona that was designed by a famous architect who has his touches all over this city, Antoni Gaudí. I figured, though, it was probably a really good place to test that 100 times zoom that this phone has. The phone has 3 cameras. We have an ultra wide, a standard camera with a crazy large sensor, which we'll talk about why that's cool later, a 4 times optical telephoto lens, and from 4 to 10 times it actually crops the sensor of that lens to punch in a bit further. Samsung calls this hybrid optical. And then from 10 times onward it uses software and AI to replicate pixels, etc., and gives up to 30 and up to 100 times zoom. Now, being completely honest, that 100 times is basically an oil painting. And even the 30 times isn't really that usable, in my opinion at least, but I have to say that even up to the 10 times is pretty darn usable actually, and that's impressive. Beyond that, it's still impressive they were able to add in the 100 times and 30, etc., and it's novel. But after people get over the fact that it can zoom that far and how cool that is, we'll see a lot less photos from those lenses posted to social media, I think. Okay, now before we leave here, let's check on the battery like we do. It is 11:45 a.m. We're at 83%. Okay, let's stop for lunch real quick. And I want to talk about one more thing about the camera. The main camera is a 1 by 1.33 inch sensor, which is the largest sensor I've ever used in a phone, frankly. Because of the size and the fast aperture, we can grab a lot more light, and as a byproduct create some natural bokeh without having to use the often touchy live focus mode to add it through software. The other thing that's interesting about this main sensor is the fact that it also has 108 megapixels, and you can take 108 megapixel images if you select that mode in the camera. But frankly, I never use that, as I don't need that much resolution, and I prefer to use that sensor in its default resolution. What Samsung did is they binned or combined sets of 9 pixels on that sensor together to create a 12 megapixel image with much larger pixels, going from 0.8 microns to a massive 2.4 microns. 12 megapixels is plenty of resolution, and I'd rather have the added benefit for much better low light performance that those larger pixels can bring, since they each can let in more light than the smaller ones. We'll test that a bit more when the sun actually goes down. In the meantime, let's check the battery as we do. It is 1:56 p.m. We are at 65%.
Sí. Bagwell.
So another unique feature of the S20 lineup, all of them in fact, is that they can shoot in 8K at 24 frames a second. And it looks pretty sharp. Checking in on the battery after all of that 8K footage that we shot, it is 5:20 p.m. and we are at 33%. And I'm getting kind of hungry, so I'm looking on my phone to try to find a restaurant nearby. And I keep running into all these restaurant websites that are just not very good. They look like they're from the 90s. They're just bad. You know what they all should have done though? They probably should have used Squarespace. Squarespace makes it super easy to build your own website with tons of beautiful and easy to use templates. Whether it's for a restaurant or a portfolio, an e-commerce store, whatever, they have a ton of templates that are ready to go, and all of them even automatically adjust to stay looking great even on mobile. You can head to the link below to start a free trial for your own site, and even use that link when you're ready to purchase to receive 10% off your first purchase of a domain or site. Okay, found a place. Let's go get some low light shots now. Okay. Well, it is 8:35 p.m. and we are at 9%. And considering I took it off the charger at about 7 a.m. this morning, that's not great. And here is my screen on time and my usage for anyone curious. And also, because of the way that Samsung shows the battery usage, it shows it from midnight onward, but I was awake after midnight. So take out the 44 minutes that happened before midnight for the screen on time. Now I have a feeling a lot of that has to do with the 120 hertz setting that I turned on. Plus a ton of shooting 8K footage, which you can actually see the battery dropped a decent amount in that chart, as well as using the GPS all the time for maps and for the taxi service here, as well as using Chrome a lot to look things up. It was just a very heavy use kind of a day. There, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this video, what you'd like to see me change about the next one. Like, do you want more opinions? Do you want a longer video? Do you want me to focus more on some technical things, more tests of things throughout this video? Or do you want me to focus on more like opinions and talk about, you know, how I feel about it, etc.? I would love to know, because I'd like to improve this series. So let me know in the comments below. Always nice to hear from you guys. Otherwise, if you like this video, please thumbs up it or share it. Greatly appreciate it. Also, check out the rest of the channel. If you like what you see there, please subscribe and ding the bell next door to subscribe so you get notified when I do new videos. As always, though, regardless, thanks for watching.